So today I wanted to talk about lights. You know that delicious feeling you have when you're outside in the sun? How can we keep that feeling inside the home? Well, obviously you can't do it without natural light. So why is natural light really important? We all know that it has some kind of impact on us, but how? So we need to be exposed to environmental bright and dark circles that we have throughout the day. It regulates our circadian system, which means the system that manages our cycles for sleep or wake. It impacts our hormones and then our cellular function and in the long run, the expression of our genes. Pretty scary, huh? Which means, to sum it up, it impacts your mood and generally your well-being. It's particularly important to feel good at home in this period with autumn and winter coming in, and the days are going to be shorter and shorter until end of December. So how can we interior designers help you achieve a nurturing home? There's a lot of different ways for that, but the first step would be for you to help us. Let me explain. What do I mean by that? When you choose your apartment, you need to choose it right. I know a few of you who are currently watching just purchase a new home, move to a new space. So interior design can help you and do wonders once you bought the place. But before you hire us, do us a favor. Select your real estate according to the natural lighting you get in the space. Especially where we live in New York, we have a concentration of buildings, one next to each other. And often when you look out of your window, you're just going to have a view on another building. 2 months ago, I went to visit a loft in Union Square in the center of Manhattan. A very fancy, expensive loft, and you get in the master bedroom, a majestuous place, and they opened the curtains, which were intentionally closed because the view was on a brick wall. That's a no-go. If you do have the option, you want to be very careful of what the view is, the amount of light that comes in the room. So the other point is, how do you want the sun to come in the apartment, in your room? To sum it up, eastern exposure. So when I say eastern exposure, it means the room we're talking about is going to face east. So for example, eastern exposure gives you light in the morning. Western exposure allows light in the afternoon. Southern exposure gives you bright lights all day long. Now be careful, that's not necessarily a good thing. There's some drawbacks with that. And finally, northern exposure gives you light all day, but a soft, gentle light. Now you're telling me, which one do I know is good for me? There's a lot of realtors out there who say southern exposure is the best. If you have an exposure to south, it should cost more. Southern exposure is great, but it's direct sunlight, so it's going to damage your furniture, your fabric in the long run, and you don't necessarily want direct sunlight all day long, especially in the summer in New York. We all know how that feels like. So how can you choose? Do you want eastern exposure, western exposure, southern exposure, northern exposure? It depends on your habits and your preferences. Do you wake up really early? Do you work at night because you're a writer or an artist? So let me give you a few examples. If you want to rise with the sun and have a cooler bedroom in summer, eastern exposure is what's perfect for you. If you prefer good daylight in the afternoon because you only work in the morning and in the afternoon you're chilling at home, then you want a west-facing room. Now, if you have rooms facing the north in your apartment and you have that option, which remember, as we said, northern exposure gives you a soft light all throughout the day, then these rooms, the rooms that are perfect for the northern exposure, are going to be places like the living room or the dining room. And then lastly, you have the southern orientation, which again, brings direct sunlight. It depends what use you want to do for a room that has direct sunlight all day. Maybe it's good for your bathroom because you don't want that direct sunlight. Maybe you're craving light all the time and you want that exposure in your bedroom. The choice is yours, hoping these elements help you a little bit. Bye.